Douglas the Dean Podcast, Douglas the Dean Podcast, Douglas the Dean Podcast. Thanking you once again for taking the time to listen. Thanking all my subscribers. It's not the size that matters, it's the actual listeners. And with that said, this is for those that have been paying attention to the episodes that I did on WrestleMania, I had mentioned that I had a dream about the way that they could do the audience for these shows, and I was explaining about a green screen that I saw that came down. So I want to kind of give you an illustration of what I'm thinking about and how I envision this. So let's take the NWA because they have the smaller audience in real time. What I mean by that is outside of before we got hit with the pandemic, they were the only show to my knowledge that had their own interior studio that they were utilizing. So as we can see from the audience how it's very stadium, very bleacher-esque. As you see, they kind of go down in a slant, right? See the in-ring action. Some of the illustrations I'm going to show you are going to be overlaid on top of the in-ring. So just kind of use your imagination. So the green screen areas, let's say, you this is all going to be an empty arena as we see, right? So this red illustrates the stands where you're going to set up your green screen, let's say per se, right? It's going to run from top to bottom. Then you're going to have your actual green screen. It's going to be lit from the side or from underneath or however their lighting staff is going to see fit in order to light the green screen, right? Then what you are going to do is key in your viewers. Now, I believe that this photo might be close to 30 people, but it's cropped down. And what you would do is, if you have the capabilities of importing each audio track. Now, from seeing some of the behind the scenes of the inner workings of the NWA, they had this kind of big control room. What I hope was a soundboard. So let's say your soundboard was capable of holding more than 30 tracks. You can key in each track per person, right? And these, of course, will be fans. But what you want to get dedicated fans. So let's say Tim Storm has his fan base. Eli Drake has his fan base. Nick Aldis has his fan base, and so on and so on and so on. You don't want to get social media jerks. And what I mean by that are the jerks that love to hate on every single solitary thing, because you're going to hear those comments and they're going to go live on air, and that's what you don't want. This green arrow represents the other section of their audience where you would also put in another section of the green screen. I think there's a divider in there. Yeah, there is a divider. So this right in the middle, where you actually see the green arrow is the stairs, the green arrow. The stairs where you'll have your talent. They fight, they come down, they make their entrances. Then you section this off. To the left side of your screen would be another drop down of another green screen, and you can continue on. Let's say as weeks go by, or you might be able to do it just the first week, just having an in-studio test, and you find it works, and then you would just have your screen there and you'd be able to input your audience. But you want that, like, for example, when they did the new talent, they have the show for the new talent. I forgot the name of the show, but they also picked diehard fans of NWA and critics, and they had them do the reviews of the new talent, something like that, where you just have like this. You kind of understand what I'm saying. This is nothing but diehard fans, so that Tim Storm comes out, and it's like, oh, why is he wearing that? Right? You don't want that. You want people that love Tim Storm, that are going to cheer and boo and react the same way that they would do with a ring crowd. That's why you want to get your diehard fans. So let's say each talent or a number of talent, they're going to pick, their diehard fans that they've been in communications with through social media, and you're going to have a revolving audience. So just in case someone's feed goes out, you can just input the next person into the next slot. If someone is acting up and being crazy, or if they have to take a break, the next, their feed goes and the next person comes in. What I also did, I found the image for the Impact Zone of TNA's. I'm not sure if this is still their location, but I'm sure wherever they're located, they have their setup, because this looks pretty close to when I'm watching Impact. So this is their empty arena, and I did the same thing. Set up the stands in red, then implemented what I see is the green screen. Now the one in the lower part of your screen, of course, is going to be placed up higher. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to cover the screen. I wanted to kind of give you a visual, for us to use our imaginations. And there we see, once again, you would screen in and key in your audience, and these arrows represent the previous images that you saw with the green boxes. So you'd have, your screen here, your screen over there, which is in the center, and screen left. And of course that would be, sideways. So, you'd still be able to see the talent come out, and they'd be able to have their theme and videos play. And AEW, now they seem like they are housed somewhere in a temporary studio or warehouse. Like a lot of the fitness facilities now have those warehouses that they're flipping. So this shot is one angle. So this was this week's show. We see Kenny Omega's titles, and Kenny Omega's to the right of us with I think that's Chuck Taylor from The Best Friends. So now where you see the AEW logo is where I'm going to set up this first one. So for this first camera angle, boom, into your green screen right there. And bam, we see our keyed in audience. I'm just doing it for the different shows. I'm sure, some of you may, get the picture. For those that don't, just kind of, use your imagination. Sorry. Now I'm going to go to another angle. This is the wide angle, as you can see. And on your right, we see the arrow, which is where we're going to lead to next, where you're going to have your other green screen go up. Right here. So now we're on the reverse angle, opposite of Chuck. And you see the AEW logo. And there we have your keyed in audience on that side as well. So now with something like this, which I didn't mention because NWA Studio is smaller, you're going to have a bigger audience, because you're going to have, let's just say for this is 30 or 40 more, 40 on this side, 40 on the other side. And if you do the other, which is on the right hand side, which is off screen, you'll have another 30 or 40 people. Now this is all based on your sound mixing board, your engineer, if you have the capabilities of patching this in. And this will all be in real time. And then what you can also do is have these people, if they have YouTube channels, they can also do their live remotes, with their phones or their iPads or wherever it is, or their cameras. And then they can put that up also on their channels. And if you want to, insert that, as part of, AEW Dark Part 2 or something, it's just fan interaction that's going to make more people want to gravitate. We don't know how long this is going to be. From where I stand for right now, at one point I heard it's going to be the end of April. Then I also heard this might go into June. So I think this would be a novel idea to keep people interested in what's going on. Okay, I have a wider shot now. This is with Lance Archer demolishing Mr. Stunt. And all I did was, add the screen so as if it would be a little bit wider here in this shot right here, where your arrow is pointing up. So that is the gist of the idea that I was talking about. I did see WWE's version. It's okay. The way it's presented, my interpretation of it is that it's going to be displayed on their Titantron per se, rather than, I don't know, that now that they have those little things, they've gotten rid of the chairs in their performance center and they've put the side panels where they have it lit. If they're going to, they're supposed to get a month off, and they actually get a month off now to actually study if anyone's going to implement this. But if they might already be on top of this, so tomorrow, this is the day before WrestleMania, they might have on their panels, you might see the viewing audience. I don't know how they're going to do it. Keep in mind, they've already recorded this. They've already recorded this supposedly last week. So if they were going to do it, somebody probably would have ratted them out. I don't know. They might have recorded it and decided to key it in later. They could have, gotten the audience, and filmed them and then said, hey, we'll put them in post. I don't know, but this is the idea. This is what I envisioned when I was stating on the WrestleMania side of what they could do. And this can go on for the future. So I made it short. I made it sweet. I hope it was understandable. And hopefully you guys will hear this. I'm going to send this to you all. And hopefully you'll be able to take the time to review this and take a look at it. Ta-ta!